So apparently I've got to do one of these videos, a day in the life of me, so welcome. My routine, all right, a day in the life of me. What's a typical day? Get up around 7:30. I always want to get some training in, which is where we're going now. We're off to the gym right now. Could be a run, could be a bit of boxing, could be throwing a few weights around the gym. I want to get to the office, shower, get to the office, grab a coffee. Usually I want to sit down with the different heads of department. I want to know what's going on with our recruitment. Meet Jan, who heads up our HR team. Sit down with Zafran, who's head of our accounts. Sit down with my business partner Nick, a couple of key brokers. See what's going on. Want to look at upcoming deals, see if there's any issues that I've got to address. Staff training. I'm a massive believer in staff training, so every day I still try and put aside 20 minutes, 30 minutes and actually sort of put a training seminar together, find out where people are struggling, try and help them overcome those issues. You know, I do that on a daily basis. It could be a one-to-one with somebody if they come to me. It could be a group training session. Once we get to the office in an hour or two, we'll see what delights the day has got in store for me. Huge car fan. I love my cars. G-Wagon, Rolls-Royce Ghost, which is nice. I've sold all the sport things. I'm too old now. I'm too old, you know, Ferraris and Lamborghinis and that stuff. I had my time. On the way to the gym, what am I thinking about? I'm trying to go through my plan ahead for the rest of the day. I know that I've got a very important 12 o'clock meeting. I've got to get to that. So I need to get finished in the gym, shower up. There's 3 or 4 meetings that I've got to have in the office first. So hopefully you'll be able to come and take a look around my office with me and see what I get up to in the office. But right now, my single focus is surviving this boxing session. I'm too out of shape at the moment, so I've got to get through it, get my gym session done, have a bit of breakfast, and then start the day. Get in the office, get stuff done. It's good though, you know, you come out of the gym, you feel positive, you feel pumped up, and I think that that shows. You know, when I'm in the office, I want my brokers to know that I'm a positive person. You know, I'm ready, I'm there to help them, ready to get it done. I don't want to be walking into my office feeling tired and sleepy, you know, that's the wrong image. So we should be in the office in about 10 minutes. I've got a breakfast meeting immediately, which I've got to get straight into. After that, I know that I've got a review with one of my brokers. After that, I've got to sit down with my head of recruitment, find out about 3 new starters who are joining the company on Sunday. Really excited to be working with those guys. And then at the end of the day, I've got to finish off with some payroll, some finances, and get stuff done. Busy day ahead. This is where I spend my life.
One word to describe Myles: supportive.
Driven.
Mentor.
Inspiring. Loyal.
Closer.
Spontaneous.
Driven.
Inspirational.
Aggressive.
Buller.
I've been working with Myles 6 years today, actually.
I've worked with Myles now for 4.5 years.
I've worked with him for a little over 2 years now.
I've worked with Myles for 5 years.
About 1.5 years now.
He's all in all a good guy. I've been knowing him, obviously, I don't know, 6 years. He's just a really genuine guy, always there to help out and give advice.
Because I've worked for him for so long, and because when I came to Dubai, I didn't know anything about sales. He literally took me from not knowing anything to teaching me everything that he knows and more. And probably the best bit I like about Myles is it doesn't matter what time of day, what time of night, I can always pick up the phone and ask his advice, whether it be about business or outside of the business. So he's always there whenever you need him.
He's very hands-on.
He's always involved in the training of the brokers. He's often seen in the boardroom, his sleeves rolled up from the second day that the new brokers start their training week in the office, which is good.
Inspiration is motivation. Obviously, everyone knows him in the market. You know what he's done, you know what he can do, and having that sort of figure around, it does motivate you and inspire you a lot.
it gets on your back a little bit, I suppose.
That even though he's always there, and even though that he will pick up the phone anytime, he expects a lot from you, which is great, and that is a positive. But he's such a straight shooter that when you're maybe not having your best times, which everyone goes through, he's not afraid to tell you.
Myles is always on your back. He's always pushing you, which can be a bad thing, but a good thing also, because he only wants you to do well.
You know, probably because he expects a lot out of me. So like, if I have months where I'm like not performing, I sort of struggle to look at him because I know what he expects and what he knows that I'm capable of. So, it's a good thing at the end of the day. It gets me up, gets me fired up.
Myles is seriously aggressive. That man can get a deal done.
I chose closer because he's an absolute closer. He's a similar story to me coming to Dubai. We always joke about it, and he's just become so renowned in Dubai for real estate. He owns the area that he works in.
Long story, they were just back in when I first started, very, very supportive in terms of actually helping me through the process. You know, I started with no experience in real estate at all. Since then I've been promoted 3 times now, and obviously the whole step of the way he's been there supporting.
Mentor, because he's always around that you can sound ideas off, and I trust his advice as well.
Double meaning actually. When I first came, I told him I can beat him in a game of basketball because I know he plays that a lot. And then we played together and he absolutely whooped my ass. But obviously the other meaning, I told him from the start when I joined out here that I wanted to make a lot of money. He made a lot of money at a young age, so that's all where that comes from.
What am I most proud of? Oof, that's a huge question. To be honest with you, probably the stuff that I've done outside of the office. I mean, PH has been amazing, and the people that we've got such an amazing supportive group of people. And by having those guys in place, it's allowed me to do what I love, which is actually a lot of charity work, which is probably not that connected to real estate, but it's still a huge passion of mine, and it's something which I'm incredibly proud of. You know, when you look at the wall behind me, there's so many achievements on there of us setting up the company, growing the company. We've set different records of, you know, I think we sold the most expensive villa in 16. We did the largest big land sale in 17. We've done the largest. We've set so many records, and that's given me visibility to people who have sponsored some of the charity events that I've done. And in total, I mean, you know, we've raised 260, 270, you know, more than $250,000, you know, $250,000 US, you know, for different charities around the world. The last one we did it for was the King Hussein Cancer Foundation, which is for children suffering with terminally ill situations, you know, and the money that I raise, I did a lot of mountain climbing, I've done different boxing events and these things. I've always done them for charity. And the money that I have raised have gone towards these amazing causes, helping people a lot less fortunate than me. So I guess that's probably my biggest achievement. Yeah, I do. I still meet clients. I'm obviously not as active as I was before, but a lot of the super high-end, high net worth clients, they want to deal with me. And typically in Emirates Hills, you know, anyone that's living in one of these villas, I've been the leading agent for the last 9 years, you know, in Emirates Hills. I've sold 48, 49 houses there, so I have been active in that space. But typically these guys who own those high value homes for 10, 15 million dollars, they also own a stack of other properties, and that means I can pass them down to the brokers. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I think it's really important that I keep my finger on the pulse of what's happening with deals. You know, a lot of other company CEOs, MDs, chairman, you know, they don't do deals, and it's very easy to sit in their ivory tower and just preach about how it should be done. But you know, I practice what I preach. Emirates Hills 9 years ago, it was slightly different then. You know, I certainly wasn't being chauffeured to my meetings in Emirates Hills. That's for sure. You know, I was screeching around the corner in my Peugeot 306. You know, and that's when we started. I started the company. It was actually 10 years ago, not 9. We started off in a steel scrapyard in Al Quds, which was far from glamorous. There was 3 of us. So now having, you know, I think I've got 53, 54 people on in the team. It's grown. You know, Nick has been instrumental in that. You know, my business partner Nick. You know, so the company really has changed. Because I'm antisocial. No, there's 2 reasons. I mean, that's 2 slightly different questions, I guess. Why do I not turn up for most of the social events? To be quite frank, all of the social events that I used to turn up to, it's the same people discussing the same topics and putting their own spin on things, and I don't feel like I learn from those events. You know, I've turned up before and I've had the owner of a company telling me how amazing his company is, and then 2 months later they've gone bankrupt. I've turned up to the same events and I've heard people being very modest and saying how they're struggling and they're killing it, you know. So I take it with such a big pinch of salt that I think, well, if no one's going to tell me the truth, I'm not actually going to learn anything from it. I'm doing this video with you guys not so much to raise the profile, but I think it's quite nice for people to know who I am, who are working with me and who are thinking about working with me in the future. We've got huge growth plans to take the company to double our headcount, you know. So if we've got another 40 or 50 people joining the company, if I was one of those people, I'd want to know who the CEO of the company was. You know, I'd want to know who Nick was, my business partner, the MD. I'd want to know who I am. And this is an opportunity for hopefully for them to get to know me, to see what makes me tick, to see what kind of person I am. As soon as we get in, I've got to have a 10-minute chat. And then I'm actually gonna, and you're welcome to video this, you're welcome to come and join me. I'm actually holding a training session in the boardroom. There's 4 or 5 of my brokers who have asked for a bit of support, a bit of help in different things. So I spent 3 or 4 hours last night. I've put together what I think is a pretty decent training schedule for them. And we're all gonna pile into the boardroom, and hopefully I can help them overcome some of these issues that they're currently facing. So I'm really enjoying training the guys. It's, you know. We started off in a steel yard, as I mentioned before, with 3 brokers. 3 brokers led to 10 brokers, 10 to 15, 15 to 20. When we got to about 25, that's when I kind of said, okay, I need some help here. I looked around the market to see who the best person in the market was, who did I want to team up with. I'd heard about Nick's name in the market. He used to run another British agency over here. And we agreed to combine forces, if you like. You know, so to see it go from a 3-man team to a 53-man, 63-man team, it's really satisfying. Would I do it again right now? Probably not. Am I pleased that I did it exactly 10 years ago? Yeah, I'm over the moon. The goal was never to be